What is up, people of the creator world? Welcome back to vidIQ once again. I am your host for the next hour as you join us here at vidIQ for something for you regulars that might seem a little bit different. And hello to all of you in the chat who are saying hello right now. I'm just gonna wave at the speech bubbles. Hi, everybody. Yes, you join us here for the Tuesday live stream action, which is going to be, as I say, quite different. We're going to try a new format, and you're going to learn what that is over the course of the next hour. So if you are here for that thing that we regularly do, tune back in tomorrow, and you'll enjoy all of the things that we have regularly here. But for now, let's introduce you to my co-host. And incredibly, this co-host hasn't been seen, at least from my perspective, for weeks and weeks and weeks. And then when I take vacation time last week, he just miraculously appears once again. You know who that is. It is a man who still probably hasn't seen Jurassic Park incredibly. Let's just check. Dan, co-host, welcome back. Have you finally seen Steven Spielberg's Epic?
Who?
I'm going to take that as a no.
Okay.
Regulars here. You know that I've been trying to get Dan to watch Jurassic Park, the incredible film from 30 years ago, for a good few months now, and he still hasn't done it. And despite all of that R&R he's just enjoyed, sounds like he hasn't watched a film yet.
I've never been good at homework.
We'll need to address that another time. But yeah, Dan, hey, how are you? Like, thank you for filling in last week. Awesome job as always. But in a tidal wave of decisions, we're going to do something completely different this week. And how excited are you for this?
I'm very excited. I'm excited to get into bad advice because I've certainly been given bad advice. I've probably accidentally given bad advice with the best intentions. So I'm really excited to dive into some of that.
Yeah, isn't it interesting how maybe if we watch through the 1,800 videos here we've done at vidIQ, if we go back to like 2019 and watch the video, and I'll say to myself, yeah, I wouldn't advise that today. Yeah, that was a bad idea. But we'll see what advice you've been given, whether it be good, bad, indifferent, or like something interesting to discuss. That's the big topic of this live stream, and we want you to get involved in that. But before we do that, we're going to look at some recent YouTube news. I think as we continue this live stream over the next couple of weeks, our intention is to find one intriguing story to bring to you and discuss as a community. And when I showed this to Dan prior to us going live, he got really triggered. Like, he was fired up. And like, I'm not going to lie, he's used some pretty industrial language that I'm not going to repeat here on the live stream. Hopefully he's not going to do it now. But yeah, Dan was annoyed. So let me show you what it is. And we encourage you to talk about this in the chat, because we're going to be bringing up this conversation as we go through this. So the conversation starts here, Dan. The beginning of August, so a few weeks ago, someone was posting that they were perhaps thinking of changing the Creator Awards. This is a thing that you get at 100,000 subscribers and 1 million subscribers, to something that looks more like this, the Silver Icon Award. And I don't know if you have been watching me recently, but I have gone a bit nuts with these. Like, I've been 3D printing these icon things for
this.
Yeah, this is not me. Like, hopefully I did not influence.
You gave them
YouTube.
Ideas, I think. They're like, those look cool.
But the thought is here that maybe for your awards, you're going to get one of these, not printed, probably something a bit more of a precious metal. But that was at the beginning. That was at the beginning of the month. The YouTube support page, however, says something slightly different, Dan.
Okay.
And it is new size, same reward. More creators than ever before are achieving impressive milestones on YouTube and seeing their passion pay off with Creator Awards. Starting now, we're introducing a new lighter size award. Don't worry, The quality and design is staying the same, along with the prestige and recognition that you deserve. So, like, what does that mean, Dan? What, like, if you were to see that message, how do you interpret that?
The prestige and recognition. Yeah, you know what? These hockey players are winning too many Stanley Cups, and so we decided to shrink the Stanley Cup. But don't worry, it's still the same prestige. And now they all try to hold it over their heads, but just one guy can just kind of lift it up with one arm. That would upset, I think, a lot of the players and the fans. But YouTube has given us the tiny awards now. You could probably the silver one you could probably fit. It's probably the size of a Kindle now. And the gold one's, I think, the size of the silver one. And the reason I'm so annoyed is because I've been afraid of this. You know, in the background of my own experiments, which I don't have a lot of time to focus on, unfortunately, I've been trying to get one of these for myself. And I've been, you know, chipping away at that. And I didn't get the one I wanted, which was the larger silver one. And now I can get this little pocketbook size one. Now the reason I was afraid of this is because, like they said, more people than ever are doing this. Thanks, YouTube Shorts. Thank you. Thank you for that, YouTube Shorts. I do love that people are able to like get this milestone now. And I do like one positive I heard is like, oh, well, it's probably a better home decor item now because it's not so weird, like weirdly sized. Like the gold one will not fit on the shelf.
as we well know.
Yes. I don't want to get all my thoughts out in one sentence, but yes, I'm indifferent. I don't like this. But at the same time, there are some positives.
Let's pause your tirade there, Dan, because let's introduce you to 2024 prestige here at YouTube. This is what your new sizes are going to look like on social media. These are creators who've been fortunate or unfortunate enough to get new awards. They had previous ones. Maybe they had second channels that have just reached these milestones, or they've bought more of them. The size difference, I would say, is roughly 30% less. And what you're looking at here is a gold play button that's now roughly the same size as what a silver play button used to be. And as Dan said, the silver play button is now being reduced to almost like a Kindle size or an iPad size play button. In fact, I'm going to go quickly get my play buttons to try and give you like a live demonstration of this. But yeah, Dan, just sort of share your thoughts here on the sizes, and I'll go get the play buttons to demonstrate.
This comment here. So is YouTube making less money? No, I don't think that's the problem. I think it's because a lot of you might not know this, but with the play button awards, you get them for free. You get the first one for free once you hit the milestone. And that is money they're spending, you know, when you buy them from YouTube. If you want multiple ones, like because a lot of people work in the vidIQ channel, we have multiple gold play buttons just so each person can have one. And they're expensive. They're like, I think, hundreds of dollars. So I'll ask Rob just to make sure. But yeah, it's the fact that Rob, this is correct, right? The first one's free, and then it's like hundreds of dollars to get another one. Correct?
Yeah, so if you want to buy more for your team, then you're talking hundreds of dollars for additional ones.
Yeah, so they did have to do something, I think, to make these a little more affordable, because it is easier to get, just objectively speaking, it's easier to get 100,000, or it's at least easier to see people with 100,000 because there's a lot more people making content thanks to YouTube Shorts. And I appreciate that they didn't just move the goalpost. Right? They could have said, well, now 100,000 isn't impressive. You got to get 500,000 to get the silver. Yeah. Instead, they said, no, but we got to do something. So we're shrinking it.
So let me give you a live demonstration. These are approximates, right? This is the gold play button. As you can see, it's a screen filler. It is enormous and it's massive. It's heavy, really heavy.
It's heavy.
Like, it is. When you put it on the wall, you've really got to like put in like 17 screws to make sure it doesn't bring down half of your house. Yeah. So approximately now, this is going to be the new gold size, roughly the same as what we've seen in the images there. The old silver play button will now be the new gold button.
Yeah.
And then, fortunately, I have a handy 3D printed one that I made earlier because I'm flexing. This again is going to be the rough size of the new silver play button. So not quite as big a shrinkage. That doesn't sound right, but
what?
Yeah, bigger shrinkage. Somebody clip that for me. Yeah, it's roughly going to be about that size, I would say. So yeah,
You guys are comparing Lamborghinis in front of poor people.
Yeah, you see, I do realize there's a bit of like what you might call creator privilege here.
It's first world problems. It is. It is absolutely.
I don't think it's even a first world problem, if we're honest.
Yeah, no, this is not a problem at all. It's just, it's, you know, if you've been aspiring towards that trophy, you've been practicing and practicing, and then they decide, well, we're gonna, hey, by the way, I know you really like that trophy and you had like the perfect spot on your mantle picked out for it. We're shrinking it now. It's a little bit, infuriating, but only a little. It's really not a problem at all. But also, it's the biggest deal ever.
Yeah. Now, I did have. I want to show you like what YouTube could have potentially done, but I need to find this in the background here. So Dan, just fill time while I find this website that I was at.
I'll just pull up this random comment here that I just saw. Has YouTube stopped pushing vertical streams as much? I don't think so. I've been on shorts quite a bit. I'm still seeing them. Maybe not as many, but it might be because not as many people are using them. I think it was like oh, what's this new thing? And a lot of people were doing it for a bit. But I've been seeing them on my shorts feed.
Okay, so I found it, right? Because I'm making a video about this, which is going to be released tomorrow. It's part of my YouTube update series, which I enjoy making. And I was making a video today. I thought, what could YouTube do instead? And my thought was, I think they should have done two options instead of this, Dan. They should have kept the Creator Awards the same size, but introduced a brand new Creator Award that looks something like this.
I like that.
So this, I think, would be the same size as the new revamped smaller award. And I guess you would earn this if more than half of your subscribers were earned through shorts. I think that would be the deciding factor as to whether you get this award or the long form award. Or I think the other way you do this is you create brand new creator awards, but the creators themselves design it. And then us as a creator community pick the best design, and then YouTube put them into production. And then hopefully by putting something new into production, that's where they could save some costs as well. Because I don't think you can just shrink an existing size and have people be happy about that. It is shrinkflation, basically. And a lot of
shrinkflation has come to a free thing.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Like, it is free, but you're getting less free stuff now. And you know, has YouTube Shorts caused this?
Yes, is the answer.
Simple yes. Dan
it has to have. It
definitively
has to have.
Yes.
There's no other explanation, and it's not a bad thing. I like that this platform exists. I like that it's thriving. A lot of people do not like shorts, but it's okay because you don't have to watch them. You still have long form videos all over the place, and some of the videos that get the most views right now are super long, hours long. So the YouTube, I feel like right now, for depending on how the kind of content you enjoy making, is very well balanced. So yes, something had to give at some point because people are growing in shorts, and they are growing sometimes fast. Like once you kind of like hit a vein and you understand what you're doing, like it wasn't an accident, right? You know how to replicate that success. I'm not saying every single channel even has that opportunity, but there are some channels, like I've been talking about them a little bit. They're called That's a Bad Idea. I talked about them yesterday on podcast. They're really like this funny comedy duo, and they just popped up out of nowhere. And I looked at their metrics. They grew fast. They grew really fast. They had a whole back catalog of content. And then once something kind of popped off for them, suddenly I'm getting served all their old videos. Like, so this can snowball. And then suddenly YouTube's like, oh gosh, we set the precedent where we're giving these silver play buttons away for free for the first one you get. That's two people. They're each going to want one. So they'll buy one. They'll probably get one for free. And, you know, that something had to give. It's just, you know, YouTube does need to watch the bottom line. I get it. I totally get it. But also, dang it.
You've also got.
Can I just pay for the bigger one?
You've also got. Maybe we need to email YouTube and say, can you keep the big old ones? I think from last time I did this, when Dan, obviously we got you on and we got our CEO extra ones. The gold ones were $450, and I think the silver ones were $150 extra to purchase. I just had one crazy caveat, devil's advocate thought, like. At the moment, YouTube treats subscribers evenly, irrespective of whether they're attained through shorts or through long form content. But now YouTube is kind of maybe saying that subscribers aren't as valuable anymore. What if in a year's time, YouTube decides that, hey, people are just getting tons of subscribers from shorts to monetize their long form content, and then they start kicking around the requirement goalposts for monetization as well? It's not somewhere really where we want YouTube to go, is it?
I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of reading into the size of the play buttons quite a bit. But I would say we've been talking a while for how subscribers really don't matter. I feel like subscribers mattered for the if YouTube is this old, subscribers have probably mattered for about that much time, because YouTube's algorithm was not matured yet. And so it's like, well, how do we serve people videos? Okay, well, if people hit the subscribe button, we'll serve them those videos because that's what people want to see. That they're telling us they want to see them. And then as the recommendation systems became more robust, that feature was diminished to the point where it is now, where if you subscribe to somebody, there's not even a guarantee you're going to see their next video in your feed. You have to actively watch them to regularly get recommended their content. Otherwise, you can go dig through your subscription feed to find it. So they aren't legitimately that valuable, especially after you hit monetization. But it's kind of cool at the same time. I've always said they're like a mark of like the history of your channel. And like there was a time where someone hit the quote like button on your channel. And what do people do when they hit the like button? They don't go back and unlike something. It's just a permanent thing that happens, and well, semi-permanent. And it's kind of cool. It's like a legacy thing. And I like it, but it also doesn't really mean anything for your growth like today, or the amount of views you get today on your channel.
It sounds like Dan has a lot more to say about this, but we do have to tie a bow around this topic. So if you want to find Dan on a private channel somewhere ranting about creator awards for the next 12 hours, he will be doing that as soon
12-hour stream on a secret channel. Just
go find it. Dan is just going to, he's not going to take comments or anything. He's just going to look at the camera and rant for 12 hours on creator awards. We'll pick out some other YouTube story next week. And we're not just going to try and find the bad and negative ones. We're going to find good and positive ones going forward as well, just to keep.
And I'll make them negative.
What's going on. We want to move on to our main topic today, and that is how we've packaged this live stream. Because hey, we want to try and get people to watch this live stream after it's finished. So a little bit of a YouTube strategy there, and it's all about bad advice. I mean, everybody's an expert and nobody's an expert here on YouTube, if we're being honest. And it's all essentially about sharing experiences, or if there's an ulterior motive, or if somebody has just fluked some bad advice and got it to work somehow. And that's what we're going to talk about for the next, let's say, half an hour or so. So get your questions in. And we're going to bring them up on screen. Our super producer extraordinaire is going to bring in those questions on screen as well. But what Vicky also did in Discord is she held a recent event where they talked about bad advice. And Dan and I are going to talk through some of these now and determine whether they are just 100% rotten ideas or there's some, I guess, good intentions behind them, or maybe just the timing of the advice is wrong. You know, it could be bad when you first start out, but when you're an experienced creator, that advice actually turns out to be good advice. So
real quick though,
let's look at these piece of advice after Dan tells us what he needs to tell us.
I just wanted to say, because I'm getting some comments about the layout of the stream. Let's just ask the live viewers, do you like 1, which is this layout, or do you like 2?
Okay.
Just you give us a number in chat, 1 or 2. Because we're not sure.
Go ahead. I did see that in the comments, Dan, but I realized that in like 10 seconds, we're going to look like this for the next half an hour.
Right.
So it wasn't going to be relevant.
Never mind. I'm sorry. I thought they were coming up at the bottom like the comments, but no, we have screenshots.
I mean, no, sometimes maybe we'll switch back to this, or we'll do this. But yeah, do let us know. Which was 1? I can't remember. Was it
1
this
is
one?
this is 1.
Right, okay. This is 1.
I'm seeing more 1.
This
but
is 2.
It's split. So for the next time, I don't know. Maybe I'll make like a custom one.
We don't want that one, do we? No, I've got this completely wrong now. I want this one back. How do I get us 2 on there?
You want this?
This, yes.
Well, for next week, maybe I'll make a custom one, which is like we'll split the difference a little bit.
Right then. So let's talk about some what may be or may not be bad YouTube advice. So the first one, Dan, comes from Golden Knight Gaming, and like if you want to contribute to these conversations in Discord, check out the link in the description and join us there. I was once told to stop doing YouTube because it's already a highly saturated industry. I
Mm.
almost did after the little to no viewership I received, but I'm still continuing my adventure. So, is YouTube just a waste of time because the Wild West is over? Like, it's too mature, too many talented creators who have like gobbled up all of the views. Just don't bother. It's a waste of time.
I got this advice over 10 years ago. Not this brutal. This person seems like they got some pretty brutal direct feedback, but
Yeah.
I got the advice in a roundabout way. People are like, you know, it's really difficult. Everyone's on YouTube now, blah blah blah. This was over a decade ago. So, no. I mean, if this is just I think this is just the world we live in now. There's going to be some online platforms where people are going to be posting content. It is accessible now. It's very accessible. So there is competition, but competition breeds innovation, and I think it just kind of encourages you as creators to go out and just be like, okay, well, how can I stand out? Because there is probably a niche for you. You know, there's somewhere on YouTube where you can gain an audience and a following, and that the people in your audience, maybe they're also content creators, maybe they're just viewers, or maybe they have a channel on TikTok or something. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean that, like, oh, I'm doomed now because literally everybody's doing it. In the grand scheme of things, most people probably don't have YouTube channels.
Interesting one from Scale Train Station here, in that they're talking about filling normal TV viewing time, and like more and more people are actually watching YouTube content on their TVs. So that's probably at this point still a little bit undisturbed by
Mm,
creators, which means making longer content isn't like super fast editing. Like, it's more a person laying back in their seat and enjoying the experience, like rather than sitting forward with a mobile phone and like wanting like a 5-minute fix piece of content.
right.
Would you say that it's not necessarily too late, but it is perhaps more challenging because it's a mature platform and there are just so many talented individual creators, but also businesses and brands that have realized that YouTube is sometimes a better platform than television itself?
I think so. Okay, think of it this way. If you're uploading videos, let's say you are the only person on YouTube and you're uploading videos, and then a second person joins YouTube and everyone stops watching your videos because those videos are just better. Let's say
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
about the same thing. Like,
yeah.
were your videos that good to begin with? Or was it the fact there was like a dearth of content? And so it's like,
Sure.
well, if I'm on here, there's nothing else to watch. I guess I'll watch this. But that's kind of the thing, right? Like, if you're worried about that, then it's that really rough question of, is your content doing enough to like stand out and like be worthy of those viewers? Like, if you feel like, oh gosh, I would be successful if only there were less people here, that becomes kind of like a reflection on like you as a content creator. It's like, well, maybe, but also, if you're asking yourself that question, how is the quality of your content, you know? And that's more of a just a question where you got to be kind of brutally honest with yourself. Also, to your point about TVs, real quick, there's a statistic somewhere. I was trying to pull it up, but I can't find it. YouTube has become, or is becoming, one of the largest streaming platforms, if not the largest streaming platform
Yeah.
in the
Along
world.
with along with Netflix, I think.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
So the quality of YouTube content has increased to that point. And to your point about watching on TV, people are starting to choose YouTube over Netflix when it's like TV viewing time. So there could also be more viewers than ever before.
Yeah. Thanks for the comment here. Never made movies. Mindset, I think, for a lot of YouTube advice and strategy is everything. I couldn't agree with you more. There. I almost said disagree. So I think to put a button in this one down, would we agree to say that this is bad advice, that you should not start YouTube because it's highly saturated? However, you do have to be a little more, I guess, you have to have different expectations, because
Mhm.
YouTube is a lot different now to what it was a decade ago, 5 years ago.
Yes.
And it's going to require, I guess, more of like the research and the building up of skills, rather than just posting something on YouTube. Shorts is different. I think Shorts is in that period now where you can just like
Yes.
get on there and like just have fun and experiment.
I
All
yeah,
right.
I agree.
Common consensus there, I believe. Next one from Random Kaz. So they're saying that the bad advice here is to treat it like a business.
Mm.
While it might be true for some people, it is horrible for creative people. And when trying to follow a business mentality, made me quit YouTube for a while. Treat it as a hobby until you monetize, and maybe slowly think and implement strategies to make it more profitable. But until that point, Don't go overboard with it. What do we think to this one?
I've given this advice, so I apologize.
When you say treat it like a business,
yeah,
yeah.
that was about 1 to 2 years ago. That was my go-to
Mm-hmm.
line. It's like, if you want to grow fast, blah blah blah, treat it like a business. But that the weight of that advice, obviously affects people, right? Like, it's like, if you really put yourself in those shoes, and you're just a creative person just trying to like have an outlet, it does start to suck a little bit, because you're like, okay, I do want to grow, so I guess treat it like a business, but now all my creativity is down the toilet. I've been on a personal level struggling with this, because I have that business mentality for my channel, but it's also something I do to unwind. It's a creative outlet. And so those two things do compete in my head. And I have not separated that advice out from that issue until now. This is really very interesting for me, kind of a reflection point for me.
Just imagine, like, if I was inviting you to join like my five-a-side football team, or like we want to go out 10-pin bowling. Yeah, but remember, you've got to treat this like a business. Like,
right.
We're not just going to have fun and have a kick around. Like, we intend to make millions of dollars out of this.
We take this seriously.
We take this super
but have fun, everybody. Yeah, it's like, there's a fine line here. You should take it seriously, like, and there is a truth, I think, to business-minded people being able to grow, because they're doing different. They're just approaching it differently. But there's also plenty of room for creative people who don't want to treat it like a business to grow. The business aspect just comes from, like, know your audience, and that doesn't necessarily mean the same thing as treat it like a business. You can understand that you're making content for a specific group of people without being like, and that's a business mindset to have. Like, no, it's just a choice you're making. You can make content that's about all kinds of stuff, or you can cater it to one specific niche.
I've always said this, that I believe your first 6 months on YouTube should just be about enjoying, or finding out whether or not you enjoy being a creator, making content, being on YouTube. I guess treat it like a business could be very important for a person starting a second channel, or a brand or a business that wants to start a YouTube channel, because they already have that mindset of making it financially sustainable. But I always say that for the first 6 months, you don't really want to worry yourself with views or subscribers. You just want to figure out if you get to a point where, am I going to make another YouTube video? Well, of course I am. Like, I love doing this. I love doing this for free. But I think, unfortunately, there is an inevitability, I think, in every creator's journey, that they have to say, I love making YouTube videos, and I've been doing this for 20, 30 hours a week. But at some point, if I want to turn this into a career, like make this a job, then there has to be some business elements that come into this. And hopefully, as you've been enjoying becoming a creator, you've kind of learned some of the business aspects of it. Like, you are a CEO of your own company, because you basically do everything. So hopefully you've already learned to pick up some of those traits. So what are we saying? Treat it like a business.
It doesn't apply to everybody.
I think it's a little subjective.
Yeah.
I think, like, some people would like to treat it like a business, but I think for most creative people, they just want to know whether they're going to enjoy this. Hey, how are you, Tish? It's been a while. Awesome. Good to see you. My sound effects aren't working. Oh well.
You lagged them out.
I would say, yeah, it's not working.
Real quick, this goes to show that not every piece of YouTube advice you hear.
That was for you, Tish. I know it was delayed, but there you go.
Not every piece of YouTube advice you hear is for everybody, right? Like, sometimes you can look at advice and go, that's bad advice. And maybe it is for you, but someone else could hear the same exact thing and go, I've never thought of it that way. Like, so understand that when you watch channels like this, we're catering to a lot of different types of people. So sometimes we'll say things that sound like blanket statements, but really they're not. YouTube is each channel is a very personal endeavor, and each one's going to have different things that make it tick, right? And each creator has a different way of approaching things. So, if you ever hear advice in general that you feel like is bad, but you see other people kind of resonate with it, that may not necessarily still mean it's good for you, even though it's good for somebody else.
My suspicion is YouTube educators such as Desiree, who we've had on here many times, and Ed from Film Booth, or Creator Booth, whatever booth he's part of now, because I know he's started a new channel. They may lean more towards treating the channel as a business, but their intent and their audience is a little different to ours as well.
Yeah.
Just try hard. I was speaking to one of my friends, telling them I was thinking of starting a YouTube channel. He said, I will never make it. And since then, I will show him he's wrong. So what is this? Listening to friends, relatives, maybe people who have no interest in YouTube themselves, and just taking any advice from them about mindset or like encouragement, probably a bad idea, right? I think we'd all agree on that.
Yeah, I've been lurking in like the YouTube, like some YouTube subreddits where people lament about YouTube growth sometimes, and I've seen this come up recently where people are like, "Oh, my family found out about my YouTube channel and they're really discouraging me." And I think you either have to have this attitude of well, I'm going to show you all, or you have to have the attitude of that's fine. You can have your feelings about it. This is just what I enjoy doing. But yeah, that's the thing. Some people will see that from their family or friends and go, oh, "You're right." They'll stop. So it's just I don't know. I think if you have someone in your life, like maybe if you're watching this but you're thinking about YouTube, I don't know if you just or if you have people in your life that are like this, try to just remind them that like that's not helpful. It's just not a helpful thing to say to somebody, and you should call out this behavior. I think nicely, but it should be called out.
It can be common as well for your friends, relatives, whatever, to just not get your passion, whatever it is. Like I was mad into temping bowling when I was younger, and I like played in leagues and did it for 10 years. But my family couldn't understand my fascination with it at all. But I just loved doing it. And I think what it's easy to do, Dan, with sort of like passions in the real world, so to speak, is that often you find you create new friends and a community around that. But with YouTube, because it's very much a solitary experience, you perhaps don't have that same support structure unless you join forums and like you're here in this live stream. And so what I would encourage you to do is try and find your own cohort or like mastermind group where you can like just talk to these people like maybe an hour a week. And so like you're holding each other accountable, and you like it's a no negativity zone or anything, like where these people understand the journey that you're going through, the pains, the struggles, but also the dreams and so forth. So yeah, taking advice and suggestions from people who aren't creators themselves, probably with a pinch of salt.
Mm-hmm.
What's this? Maybe his friend is using reverse psychology. That could be it as well. Maybe his friend knows more about his mindset than he does. Maybe
I've had the reverse where I've had someone tell me like they found I was in YouTube and they're giving me advice that did not apply to YouTube at all. It applied to like other things. I think some of the worst advice I've heard people say is if you build it, they will come, which is an old adage, and it assumes that if you just keep doing the same exact thing over and over, if you're there and you build it, people will eventually show up. And that was bad advice for me because I'm like, that resonated with me because it meant I didn't have to do anything different. I didn't have to learn anything. I didn't have to I could just do exactly what I was doing, which I very much enjoyed, and eventually people will watch. And that was their advice to me. And,
all right, go ahead. No,
I was wrapping up anyway, but that was basically like I've had the opposite effect where people are like, "Oh, that's great. You should, oh, you're struggling a little bit. If you build it, they will come. Just keep doing the same exact thing and don't worry, they'll show up."
I've got one now which could cause an argument. So let's start the warning sirens here.
All right.
Another really bad one early on was produce as much content as possible. Quantity over quality.
Who says that?
That way you have more shots at the target. Eventually one will hit. I quickly realized archers, wow, this is going into a metaphor. Archers take their time to aim and refine their shot, so they only have to shoot once. But I've got a follow-up comment here, but let's start discussing this now.
I'm just gonna say it because I think I know where you're gonna go for here.
Yeah.
Archers don't just have a refined shot the second they pick up a bow. They have to practice. So when Rob says things like quantity over quality at first, it's basically just take shots, get your reps in. I still think this is decent advice for somebody who's like, I don't even know what I'm doing, but if you're doing this for a while, then, and the quality argument comes in when someone's been doing this for like, 100 years and they've made thousands of videos and they feel like they've gotten nowhere. It's like, then maybe you should slow down and reassess and then bring the quality aspect in, but you still need practice. And I think that's what's great about YouTube. I've had multiple channels that were just practice channels, like it's something. And to this day, I'm not a refined archer by any stretch. I'm still practicing. But yeah, like I've gotten into analysis paralysis by over refining. So that's where I'm coming from.
To follow what I said earlier about like you should just spend your first 6 months like not putting any pressure on you, finding out whether you're enjoy making videos. Through that 6 months, you get another thing that I always like to say, which is nothing beats experience. And so repeatedly going through the YouTube process to build up that creator muscle memory and go through all of those steps multiple times. And yeah, as somebody said there, like an archer isn't an archer when they just go into a battlefield with a bow. They'll have had many practice shots previously. Somebody responded to this, and I thought it was a really good way to interpret this. And I remember using this exact analogy in a video, probably 3-4 years ago, which is on one about, I think, what MKBHD said. So IJZDRAC135 says, what I do find interesting is that there was a study with 2 groups of students. One group had would just make one good item. I think it was clay. I think they're molding something. While the other group was to make as many as they can. The teacher wanted to see who would end up making the best pot. The one group that would take their time on one versus making as many as possible. The answer ended up being the quantity group because they kept making them. They got better and better and better. So they were able to refine their technique every single time. And it's the other argument, like 80% is done is better than 100% perfection and all of those types of arguments. So it's the conversation here is you swap from one type of content creation to another at the right time. And I think Tim Schmoyer of the vidIQ coaching program said this, and I'm kind of paraphrasing a bit, but to build skills, quantity over quality. To build an audience, quality over quantity, because you want to make the best and most valuable content for your audience when you know who it is.
Again, not all advice is for everybody. If that's not resonating with you, then don't follow it.
Tommy likes transport. The worst YouTube advice I received was when I was live on YouTube in 2022, and I had this troll that disliked the way I play the game Pokemon and spiraled into saying play off screen.
Oh, wow.
I'm not sure what that means.
Meaning like stop streaming, just go play the game.
Oh, okay. Right. I took his word for it. And in the end, I quit my gaming channel for 2.5 years. In reality, I just needed a complete channel revamp and a short break. So this, I guess, is the extreme effect of bad, negative, toxic advice, whereby it can affect a creator so much that they just deplatform themselves for years. And we never want to see any creator do that.
Yeah. I think especially it's hard with gaming. There's like a few different approaches. Like if you're really good at the game, that's kind of what the draw is for your channel, right? If you're bad at the game, but it's funny and you make it a whole thing, that could be the draw to your channel. Like there's a bunch of different ways to approach it, but like it's really bad when you're trying to get good at the game and then you're streaming that and that's like the goal and people are like calling you out. It's not helpful. It's not productive. And my advice to anybody who's felt this is to make sure I'm not kidding when I say this, make sure you ban people from your comments and live stream chats and discords and whatever who are bringing the energy down, because what that does is even if they're not, quote, breaking your rules, they are making the experience of that community worse for everybody around you. And it might hurt to kind of ban someone who's been around for a while, you've been letting it go for a while, but it always helps the mood adjust really quickly because that negative energy is just gone. So ban the trolls. If you feel like someone's trolling, you give them 1 to 2 chances, right? If you're not really sure, but if you feel like overall they're just there to cause a stir, just get rid of them. It sucks to do in the moment, but then later you realize your community's better off for it.
And let's be clear, when we say ban the trolls, you're not banning them from YouTube. They can still watch
they can still watch
content. They just can't join in on the conversation, and you as a creator are controlling the conversation, the narrative around your community. And why would you want to waste any amount of time on the negativity and toxicity, which doesn't bring any positivity or energy to the channel, and ignore those other creators, people in the community who are getting involved in the right way. So yeah, let's try and ignore just downright negative advice and remove them from a conversation.
Yep.
Aspie Travels. YouTube themselves suggested to new creators to do sponsored ads to gain subs and views. Viewers who may not sub but then don't come back, probably.
They may sub, but yeah, they might not return. No,
Views
they won't.
I'm sorry, yeah.
They won't return.
I think we're talking about the YouTube promotion tab here.
Yes.
Unless I'm mistaken, right?
This is the worst thing YouTube has ever implemented into the YouTube studio, in my opinion.
This is rant number 2 from Dan. Continue.
Yep. I don't think this is a hot take. For those who maybe have tried it, you would agree. For those who've been thinking about it, just hear me out. You are basically, someone went on YouTube, they clicked on a video, and your ad for your channel popped up. You know what they didn't ask for? They didn't ask to see that. They wanted to click on something else. They're there to watch somebody else. They're waiting for the skip button, and they don't want to watch your channel because you've asked them to. You paid to ask, like, you know what I mean? It's not building a quality audience. We are about building an organic audience. So yes, I hate the language here. This is great if you run a business. If you're selling a product or service, that's what advertising is for. Promote your channel and business on YouTube. It should just say business. Yeah. In addition to your regular channel growth, promotions can get your videos in front of a new audience. No, they can get your products and services in front of a new audience. Anyone who's tried this has reported back to us and said, I wish I never did it. Don't do it.
The best way to get discovered on YouTube is organically through YouTube's recommendation systems, which are incredibly sophisticated and are proven at this point to work, resulting in billions, it wouldn't be trillions of views every day at this point, but billions of views every single day. And so use that. Use what YouTube gives you for free.
Yeah.
And I guess that's like, well, are we saying that's universal advice, Dan? Like, only use it if you want to try and you're selling a product or a service?
I think so. But yes, okay. This is, keep in mind, everything we say they're our opinions. We don't work for YouTube, blah, 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 blah. But this is one that I think is really like, we're talking about people's money now, and YouTube is saying, like, spend money to gain subs. It's easy. It's like, sure, if you want to watch a number go up arbitrarily, I guess.
I mean, thanks again, Vicky, producer extraordinaire, bringing up Melly validating comments that it just didn't work for them.
Yeah, I've not seen anyone say it worked for me.
Go get woo. Bad advice. I was told to focus only on shorts to build a following. Is this true?
It's about goals, right? I mean, if you want to keep making shorts forever, and it's not forever, but you know, if you're into making shorts and you're happy to build a following who like your shorts, then it's great advice. But if your goal is something else completely, I mean, try shorts if you want, but don't do something you don't enjoy just because you think it's going to bridge some other, you know what I mean? Not bridge, but grow some other aspect.
Yeah. Would it be as close to saying, well, do you want to follow in on TikTok? No. So why are you making shorts? Would it be as close to say, Dan, are you wanting to try and build a following through long form videos? Then don't make shorts. Or again, is there this?
It's the focus.
Necessary evil that I'm going to build a following to get to 1,000 subscribers so I can monetize and then immediately transition onto long form content.
I just think it's very nuanced. I'll give you an example of how I think shorts could help grow something else. If you are a live streaming channel and you are using clips from your streams as your YouTube shorts and you want to grow your streams, what you're doing is providing the shorts audience just a little sliver of the experience of what it's like to be on a live stream with you, watching live. That is like a good way to kind of like try and like merge the two. But if you're making shorts that you think, oh, these will get a lot of views, and then people come and watch my videos that are nothing like my shorts, then that's just not strategic, so I think you can use them strategically to kind of grow your channel holistically, but I don't think they're magic. And some people, I've seen people say, oh, you should use shorts, they're cracked, they're like, you'll get views for sure. It's meaningless if it's not going to contribute to your actual goal. And some people just want to be shorts creators, and that's their entire goal, and that's their entire channel. So this is nuanced. There's not a one size fits all answer to this.
Fear and Law saying it's a good tool to drive traffic to your long form videos. We've seen predominantly that creators struggle to do this. So I would love to know how you're specifically doing that beyond maybe using the related link tool that you have in Shorts. Because I think that's been the number one complaint from creators who are already on YouTube, saying that I make shorts and I build an audience. Let's say I start averaging 1,000 views per short, and then I go onto long form content and they average 10 views per video, and I just can't figure out how to get a balanced audience, so to speak.
Yeah.
Well, long form video should be the end goal.
It depends.
Do we agree with that?
I don't agree for everybody. I've seen some creators that are just shorts creators and they're thriving and they don't care about the benefits of long form content. I love long form content, but I don't think it's for everyone, just like I don't think shorts is for everyone. Just keep in mind, YouTube has given everybody a lot of tools, the community tab, live stream, shorts. Like, you can use as many or as few as you want. Use the ones you think you would enjoy using, and those individual little bits of your channel can grow. It doesn't mean you have to do one thing. Sometimes there's a benefit, sometimes there's not. Like, just there's nuance here. If you're here looking for one specific answer on this, you'll never find it. At least not for me. Like, there is so much nuance here.
I'm going to abbreviate this channel's name, but they are Dr. Gas. I was told to get views, I had to get bots to view my channel to get people to think I was a good content creator.
Oh, gosh.
I think that advice comes from 1973, if I'm honest.
We've now found the worst YouTube advice.
This is it. This is the one.
Yes, this is a great way to cap off the segment, because that is, I think, we don't have to over explain this. It's just, as you know, very, very bad advice.
This isn't just going to handicap your channel. It is going to terminate your channel.
Yes.
So let's be clear. YouTube has its official way of buying bots through the promotion tab. That's what Dan said. I was just paraphrasing what he said.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you actually buy views from a website that guarantees you monetization, just be really cautious about doing that. And also think about when those bots aren't around anymore, who's actually watching your content? And the answer is probably nobody. So
tumbleweeds.
Yeah. Let's or I've got a sound effect for that. Crickets.
Yep.
Crickets. That is all of the bad advice that we can offer you to reject or consider for YouTube today. Thank you for contributing. I thought that was enlightening and awesome comments that I saw throughout this conversation. But we're going to shift gears a little bit now, because we do have a little bit of a legacy requirements here in that we run a thumbnail competition every single week. And the winner of that thumbnail competition, who gets the most likes, gets their channel audited. So we're doing one single channel audit today. And that is from this channel that provided Dan this, I would say, phenomenal thumbnail. It looks to me like it's a plane that's trying to surf on a big tidal wave. Or maybe that's the eye of a hurricane. I don't know. But it's the Bermuda Triangle. Yeah. Apparently it's weird.
It's a situation I would not want to be in.
Certainly not. Certainly not. But I guess this creator is going to try and cover that predicament. And they go by the name of the In-Between. Their channel has 35,000 subscribers from just 100 videos. So I think that's a great start already. And let me just throw up the thumbnails, Dan, and you can kind of figure out what this channel's about, because I think that's probably where we would start for this one.
Seems like myths and stuff like that. They're talking about places that have like an infamous kind of like thing, like the Bermuda Triangle is obviously, and then there's also, let's see, Grand Canyon cover up. So maybe a bit of conspiracies.
Mysteries, conspiracies, yeah,
Yeah,
phenomenon, like
yeah,
paranormal activity. We get the gist in like a very short amount of time, which is excellent.
yes. It's pretty cool. I like the thumbnails are working pretty well, I think. There's not a lot of words. They stand out, the text stands out nicely, and then I think the compositions are just really good. You know, I kind of like look at these thumbnails, they don't feel too busy to me. I kind of want to like explore them a little bit. I think they're well done.
Now, I was curious when I looked at these first three thumbnails, and when I immediately jumped onto the channel, my immediate thought, Dan, was, is this an AI channel? And I only asked that because the thumbnails look very templated, and I wasn't sure, like, is this just like an AI generated image?
Mhm.
And maybe it is, but the moment you jump into one of these videos, or like even you can see from the preview, it's a real person
Yeah.
presenting this stuff, which is awesome. So if this person is using any AI content, they're using it just to supplement and like enhance their delivery of the content, as opposed to it being like just a full-on AI channel.
Yeah.
And I think that's the right way for the creator to approach this.
Yeah. I agree. I think there's if you were going to use AI thumbnails, I think this, especially if you're talking about things that may not exist, it's probably not a bad idea because it's hard to, you know, find a picture of like Bigfoot.
And I was going to play, I think, this video because I watched it previously. I just want you to watch like the first 20 seconds, 25 seconds of this hook, if it plays from the beginning, and hopefully you
Okay.
can hear it.
Honobia, Oklahoma. Google it, see what you get. What's it known for? It's Bigfoot Festival. But there's a much more serious side to the town's mascot, a side that a young family is about to see up close and personal. Welcome to the In-Between. I'm Carol Ann, and this is the story of the siege at Honobia.
It's stellar.
25 seconds. Like, I thought it was just like a chef's kiss
Yeah.
hook. Absolutely perfect, in my opinion.
Very just stellar delivery.
Mm.
Very clean, well edited, good intrigue, solid hook. This person has experience. They just, I feel like they have been like doing this for a while. Like there's something there that definitely speaks to someone who's very like good at what they do and to be
It
doing
was
a bit.
one of the best examples of using the word but as well. So I'm just going to go back to the beginning and like just detect where it comes in.
Honobia, Oklahoma. Google it, see what you get. What's it known for? It's Bigfoot Festival. But there's a much more serious side to the town's mascot.
I just thought like introducing, oh, like, yeah, Bigfoot, I'm aware of that, but I'm going to show you something different or new that you haven't seen. And there's something sinister behind it. Really tapping into the audience's expectations as well. They want something mysterious or like shocking, and they got it. So, and the music was perfect. So, in short, Dan, this channel is just awesome. It's doing everything right. What can we suggest to the channel to do better? Yeah, I'm not sure.
I mean, there was, and maybe they did this a while back. I've seen some UFOs and stuff on their thumbnails. There was a lot of talk of aliens not that long ago. There were hearings that happened in the US government, all this stuff. Like if things are happening around you, maybe a new show or a news story or something, I would say that that's a really good time to jump on one of these topics if you have some, you know, something to add. That is me basically giving the advice of like, hey, if there are trends, you know, maybe there's a new podcast or something, or that's talking about something that's really taking off, like bringing your perspective to trending topics is Area 51 raid, like that is there even when you're making more evergreen content like this, there are moments where you could get in on like a trend, like just something timely is happening.
I noticed here that they did a big long listicle there, 3-hour compilation. Presumably was that previous content all about the Dogman stories that you've all put together. I'm thinking maybe there may be more opportunities. Maybe you've done a couple surrounding the Yeti or not the or the Sasquatch, like a collection of similar animals or like similar mysteries that you could collate together. And those might be videos that are not necessarily for your existing audience, but it's just trying to reach a brand new audience who's never come across with you before, but they have all of your best content all in one place that's 2 or 3 hours long. So more experimentation with that. And I mean, we just sort of by most popular. Was there anything jumping out here that you can maybe revisit? Like the Bennington Triangle one, that's an outlier. That's already doing really well, and it's only 5 days old.
Wow.
So I think you're doing something about the Bermuda Triangle. Like those triangles seem to be interesting mysteries to approach. So yeah, just more of that. But I think both Dan and I are kind of struggling to say you're probably exactly where you should be right now with 100 videos that you've done.
Yeah.
That you're getting tens of thousands of views per video. Excellent stuff. You've also experimented a little bit with lives. You know, maybe there's opportunity to collate some of these into shorts clips, but do you want to dilute your content at a moment? That's only a decision that you can make. But yeah, awesome stuff, Dan. But
Oh yeah,
like this is a template channel for others to follow.
it's absolutely. Thank you for sharing.
All right, then. So that was our one channel of the week. And now what I think we're going to go and do is answer your questions that have been flooding in, whether they be super chats or members joining. Did we decide whether we wanted this view or this view? I cannot remember.
But I don't remember now. I think the other one technically won.
Let's go with that one. All right. So one person we noticed before the stream went live who was commenting a lot has just become a new member, and that is a short history of, and they get a custom sound effect for the week. Bruh. That will change next week. We've also had this question coming from one of our members, but I think we've kind of answered it. Well, here's a question. Is it really bad promoting content? Now, we've only really spoken about the YouTube's promotion tool, but we're not saying that promoting your content on other social media platforms is a bad idea. It's just the challenges that you're maybe trying to bring people from another platform onto YouTube, and there's always friction there.
Yeah.
And maybe you're trying to go and find a new audience when your biggest audience, again, is on YouTube. So you should be doing kind of like your biggest promotional work there in terms of just creating content that increases discovery. But I don't know if you've got anything else additional to add there, Dan.
No, I think it could be a lot of legwork. And if you focus on just like YouTube, that sometimes is just a better bet, because you're like, okay, well, what can I do with my titles and thumbnails to get people that I've never met before to click on it, rather than going, okay, what subreddit will allow me to post this video, you know?
We have one gifted super membership from Dominic Hamal. Thank you very much for that. Whoever got that, you are one lucky creator. A super chat here from Carlis, which was for £1. Maybe they weren't sure what they were doing because they sent us another super chat immediately afterwards. And it was, can you give me your personal opinion on lives? What, doing live streams?
I think
they're
they
doing
mean
them like right now. And we love
they mean looking at their channel or on live streams. I'm not sure. I like live streams. We're not looking at channels based on super chats. Yeah.
Just if you haven't done them before, do it. Expect everything to go wrong in the first live stream. That's fine. You will have technical problems. Sometimes you are live streaming by the seat of your pants, and there's kind of an excitement and terrifying feeling to that. But with experience, it does get better, and it can be a hell of a lot of fun, especially if you can find like somebody to do it with. And sometimes, I don't know, maybe the type of live stream dictates your energy levels. Like maybe it's easy to play gaming live solo, but like when we do these live streams separately, Dan, I don't know about you, but I find them exhausting. I love it when I have a co-host, somebody to bounce off of and riff with.
Yeah.
Next one here, San Rivelli. I'm a gaming channel that plays RPG, horrors, and visual novels. Because it's not competitive, could that be why I'm not seeing any growth?
I certainly think there's an audience for that. This is not the kind of content I personally watch, but if you're not seeing growth, it could be title, thumbnail, you know, like people aren't really understanding what they're about to click on. It also could be that maybe you're not playing stuff that's trending as much. I think with this kind of stuff, you need one or the other. You need the nostalgia of the game to carry it, or you need the fact that it's new and exciting. And both of those could be very helpful for growth. But I do believe there is an audience here because there are channels doing exactly this. I would look and see, how do they pitch their videos? What kind of games are they playing? Like, try and see what's working in the space.
Stacking Surfer started 18 months ago, just past 9,000 subscribers, and nearly a quarter of their audience watch on TV. And I think they're saying that they run their channel like a business. I think focus on community, gold and silver investing. I guess that ties naturally into a channel that you might run like a business, because it's all about making money online, and those, I guess, concepts dovetail very nicely together. But congratulations on your success.
Yeah.
We have the Alpheus Gaming. Thank you guys at vidIQ for everything. With your tool and the tons of tips, I'm really close to monetization. Big hugs to the team. Oh, thank you. And thank you very much for sending us a super chat when technically you've not earned any revenue from your channel yet. That is amazing commitment. And we wish you the very best of luck going forward. Bedazzled Nails, otherwise known as Brandis. What would be your advice for a creator who prefers doing lives and teaching over editing videos? What would your advice for a creator who prefers doing lives? Oh, that's just copied and pasted the question.
Well, they did. I mean, it's a $10 super chat, so you got to get the real estate.
Got to get enough of a super chat to cover my mouth, I think.
I mean, there's another comment that kind of addresses the same thing I'm about to say anyway, but I'll just say, like, for this live stream, for example, I very much enjoy doing this live stream, like the whatever we've been doing on Tuesdays, right? But like, I would position your live streams in a way that people who are watching after they're live get kind of their own experience. So we focused a lot today on the title and thumbnail of this live stream, and we focused on making sure that at some point we addressed the VOD watching audience at the beginning of this live stream, so that if they do watch after it was live, they'd feel like, okay, I might have missed it live, but I'm also being appreciated here as somebody who didn't catch the live stream. Because live streams can live on after they are no longer live. Emily D. Baker has proven this. A lot of channels prove it. Jeff, who works on staff here, has proven it. So that's my advice if you don't enjoy editing, but you do very much enjoy live streaming.
The packaging is still important. I guess you can move away from editing, but the thumbnail and the title is what's going to get people to click.
Yeah.
And we have Hode Marley. This confusing advice: do what you love versus making content your audience would want to watch. Yeah.
I mean, if I've always tried to say, like, yeah, do what you love. Try to find a way of doing it in which it's going to get you an audience. Because if you, I don't know, I can't think of like a silly example right now. I'm kind of tired, but you know, it's important to do what you enjoy. You need to enjoy what you're doing. Don't make content you hate because you think it's going to get views. You still need to enjoy it. But there's an aspect of YouTube that is work, in which, like, okay, this might not be the ideal way I want to pitch the content, but the audience understands it when I pitch it this way. And, you know, try to find a balance.
And the best creators are able to combine these two concepts perfectly. And I think that's the ultimate goal and dream. Oh, hello. What's this? What is this? The Mad Cat is back. And we've also got a new member. The Alpheus Gaming has joined us as a member, so you get a sound effect as well, which is going to be this. You get the wrestling bell. And I think we can bring someone in here for this question. Oh, hey! Travis. Everyone's got to move their heads now to make sure that they're all correctly
now we can use the other way out.
Awkward GM Corbin. If you have both Twitch and Twitch VODs copied to YouTube, would it be better to ignore Twitch and stream only on YouTube? Oh, this is a live stream question from a different platform. I have no idea.
You can just stream the both, because now Twitch allows you to do that as long as you don't like monetize something, or forget exactly what the rules are. Just why wouldn't you do both? I wonder.
If you are using Twitch's very unique live streaming features and they're part of your content, then I would say stick to Twitch, because YouTube is probably never going to get some cool community features that Twitch has. If you're not using those features and you feel like you have an audience on YouTube and you're trying to build that, and you just want to focus on one, like Travis said, you can do both. I would do YouTube. I'm an advocate for that. But Twitch has its benefits. There are things you can do on Twitch that YouTube just will never do.
And we have one more new member, who is Thandake, the Lazy Runny. I apologize if I mispronounced your name, but welcome to the team. That is your special noise for this week. And hey, Travis, we're done.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Okay, bye.
We're all done.
Yeah, bye.
This is a new format, and we're just doing this for like roughly an hour. We want to see how it went. And folks, we would really appreciate your feedback. So don't leave a feedback in the live chat. Leave it in a comment afterwards if you can, because we're more likely to read it there. And we'll just see if this new format works. Otherwise, if you do want to get your auditing fix, then John will be here tomorrow for thumbnail audits. But since you have joined, Travis, I'll give you the last 30 seconds before we sign off for the week.
I just thought it'd be funny because Dan came on the podcast yesterday and really saved the bacon, and currently holds, this is really interesting, it's the number one most viewed podcast so far, just the first 24 hours. It could continue on. I mean, it's a lead of everything, and I'm thinking it reminds me of when Dan first came to vidIQ and he put out a video that went to 1 million, and then we didn't get another one for a year. So I'm wondering
ever.
No,
we did.
I've had others.
I'm wondering if the same thing is going to happen on the podcast. Like, is this the Dan bump that we get the first time he comes onto something, and then
everyone gets one?
Yep.
Everybody gets one.
Oh my gosh, good times.
So check out the podcast. Otherwise, we'll see you sometime in the future.